You.
Hey,
All
Will,
right.
what was it last week about how you hated WALL-E? By the way, that's Cole's favorite Pixar movie.
Cole, that's your
Good.
favorite?
My favorite Pixar movie, yeah.
Is WALL-E?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the back half of that movie is shot.
What are you talking about?
Guys, they can hear us. We're live.
When they get on the, I don't care if they can hear us. I want them to hear this. WALL-E is,
But this is
WALL-E
secret.
is like a 6 out of 10 at best for when it comes to Pixar.
It's Andor all over again, man. It's Andor all over
Honestly,
but good.
I
though.
could compare it to Andor, and I like Andor, and I like WALL-E. But WALL-E
know
is the
about
Andor.
that.
WALL-E is the Andor of Pixar.
I'm getting some major contrarian vibes from you over here. Honestly,
what else is like a big thing, dude? Thank you, Tom.
What? No, it doesn't, dude.
Tom, shut the fuck up, bro. WALL-E's great.
I remember being in that movie as a kid, and I'm like, I don't want, like, it's sad. They don't even speak other than the people on the weird ship. Eva sucks. Eva's like not a good that's not a good relationship.
Wow.
It's not a healthy relationship. It's a bad
You
relationship.
hate women droids.
Tell me you don't
They're not-
understand subtext without telling me you don't understand subtext.
Subtext.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Subtext mining
Bad
from
relationship.
Plagueis.
Hey guys, welcome
I
back to Dark Side Secrets, a weekly Star Wars show. Today we're talking about WALL-E. Is it good? And
No.
why is it?
That's
Bad.
great.
I guess I'll drop the intro.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
What's up, guys? And welcome back to the real Dark Side Secrets. So you got me and Will, per usual. But this week we have both of the guys from Mortis FM, Cole and Grayson. How you guys doing?
Go ahead, Cole.
I'm fine. I'm really great. we're doing so well right now. Yeah, I haven't spoken to these guys all day. Definitely not right before we started. How we doing, fellas?
Good, man.
I
Good,
just
good.
watched WALL-E and I snapped the DVD.
Crazy,
gone.
bro.
Cole's never coming back. By the
Cole,
way.
I can't understand. You're telling me that we just have to do something real quick. Sorry, everybody who's here for Star Wars.
Come on.
You're telling me that WALL-E is better than The Incredibles?
Yep, 100%.
I'm
don't know,
telling you,
Tony. You've never seen it.
And I don't need to. Done, bro.
Tony, you
Wow.
were watching Honk Shoe Looney Tunes cartoons back in the day. That's what
Yo, those were good though. Those were classic. Yeah.
I'm not.
Porky Pig.
I
and all
never.
them?
I
Let's go,
never
baby.
said that WALL-E was better than The Incredibles. I just think WALL-E's my favorite. That's it.
Oh, okay. That's fine. From what I thought you said,
Peace.
Grayson made it sound like that you think that WALL-E is the best Pixar film.
That it's my personal favorite. I think their best is probably Incredibles. I think.
Or
Never-
any of the Toy Story movies.
Any of them? Any of
Never-
the Toy Story movies.
Never heard of
Any
Incredibles.
of them. Perfect. Not four.
I was gonna say. I was like, what are we talking
Sorry,
about?
I forget 4 exists
Four.
sometimes.
I think it's better just as a trilogy.
Yeah.
4's not like
Yeah.
terrible. I think it's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Incredibles is like definitively from a film standpoint, like probably their best. But I just personally love WALL-E. It's just my
fine.
favorite.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's
there we
fine.
go. Peace.
Grayson, what's your dumb opinion for today?
I'll have to conjure it up.
I'm so kidding.
I'm doing great, guys, by the way. Thank you.
Cole's on for the first time in a million years, and I'm just shooting at him. I apologize. Wally's fine. I just
Oh my god.
I don't need to watch it.
Someone took a big old pee in Will's blue milk today.
Will saw the Jedi logo when he woke up this morning, and he just got mad.
That's a whole other thing. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
That's my opinion, by the way. The Jedi logo is awesome. Hands up in the chat if you agree. Giving me the little gold thing.
I think Coolsville sucks.
It is literally. It is. Hey,
That's such a. I haven't heard that in so long.
It's
That's
so deep
good.
cut, but I saw that meme today, and I was like, I'm bringing it back.
It's not,
So
sorry, go ahead. Let's get on Star Wars.
Hey, we should talk about Star Wars.
yeah. So before we get into it, let's say what's up to the chat because they are on fire and all over the place. From Ventress to Wally to Incredibles to Ventress to Wally. So
the trifecta right there.
we got Lacey in the building. Let's go. Even though she's talking shit down here a little bit, I see Wally sucks. So yeah, you hater. Don't worry.
It never ends. It
One more
never
comment
ends.
like
This
that.
is the
We'll
favorite
ban
start
her.
to an
Don't worry.
intro I've ever had on this show. This is my favorite intro we've ever done on this show.
Meredith. What's up, Meredith?
Meredith in the building. What's up? Chris, what's going on? Pulling a late. I see. Ayo, what's up? Tom, hello, but relax, please.
Hello, but relax.
Cyrus Speed, let's go. What's up? Let's see who else. We got James in the building. Ventress is back, baby. That's how he said
Cool
it. He told me.
profile pic, dude.
Back
Yeah.
in the greatest Star Wars book of all time, Dark Disciple.
The trees, buenas tardes, folks. Let's go.
Dark Disciple is the Wally of Star Wars. Legends.
Oh my god.
I'm Han here when he's like, what are you talking about?
Mikey, what's up? Good evening, gents. Welcome. Let's see who else we got in here. We got the other Cole in here. What up, Cole? What's up, everyone?
Hey man.
The other Cole.
What up, House of Windu? I would love to see a live version of Incredibles with John Cena.
John Cena as who? Mr.
John Cena-
Incredible?
John
That's
Cena is
syndrome.
Jack Jack. He's his
Oh
Jack
my
Jack.
Sklebeans, what's up? Welcome. Let's see.
I'm dying, dude. Oh my gosh.
Captain Solo, what up? Enjoyed the episode, but some characters should stay dead.
Ugh.
Kevin, what's up, man?
Why?
Welcome to the stream.
Why should some characters should let's talk about subtext then, Cole. Is that referring to Ventress? Why should Ventress stay dead?
I honestly
No,
think
I
he's
was
talking
just-
about huh?
Who? Luke Skywalker?
I honestly think he's talking about Batcher after Batcher
Oh my god.
died and was resurrected in that episode. It was crazy. We watched the same
Um,
episode, right?
Yeah. Old shipping lines, what's up? And then we got JT in the building. What up? John Cena as Jack Jack. What's up, guys? Okay. I don't know what that means. I haven't seen that movie. But
Batcher ran
You
away
haven't
like
seen Incredibles?
Omega
nah.
sent Batcher away like what's
Welcome
his
back to
name in
Pixar
What's Eating
Secrets.
Gilbert Grape?
Me too, Gunji. Me too. All right, so let's get into the juice. Today's episode. So I want to see what you guys think. So we'll start with Cole. What'd you think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you mad?
I'm mad that Will doesn't like Wally, but as
Oh
for the
my
episode,
God.
as for the episode, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think, I mean, like overall thoughts. I just think that it was a great way to reintroduce the character that they're going to use in the future. I don't expect to see her again in this series. I think this is like a one and done, and we're going to see her again later on, from what we've been told. But it was really enjoyable. I liked it. It was neat.
What about you, Grayson?
I really enjoyed the episode. I think my only criticisms are that it was like weird that Ventress just kind of showed up like unbeknownst to everyone and then just kind of left. And it's kind of frustrating because we didn't really get answers. Like it's up to
Nothing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, so she's not, and they're like, but you're lying, and she's like, who knows? See ya, and just like and leaves. But like it was still awesome to see her, and I think the line we can get more into the plot in it, but like the line at the very end of saying like she still has a couple more lives is enough for me to be like, okay, we'll figure out one day how she came back.
Yeah,
Probably Tails, but I liked it. I mean, I think in terms of the upper, like the echelon of episodes, this is one of my favorites of the season. Like, I love Force stuff. I love Jedi stuff. And
in
seeing
Star Wars, really?
hot take, which is I say that sarcastically. That is a hot. Okay. But seeing someone like Ventress kind of playing this like almost like this Jedi Master role to Omega just in this episode, right?
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see.
Yeah.
What about you, Will? Do you have an opinion on this episode?
Yeah, I liked it.
Cool. All right, that's the show, guys. We'll see you next week.
It was fine. I liked it. Grayson, what you just said is probably my biggest issue with it. It's what we didn't see and the answers that we didn't get from this. Like, I get there's double the episodes in a regular. I mean, triple the episodes in a regular season of television that's been coming out. I mean, it's 17 episodes, something like that. How many episodes?
15. I think.
15. Yeah.
15. So double.
About double. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're working with a smaller time frame of how long the episodes can be, and I understand the formula when it comes to animated Star Wars of like where you jump in at, but like I think what would have made the episode just a little bit better for me is like if we saw Ventress answering the call at the beginning of this episode of like with Fennec, and like maybe she's on a mission and then she's like in the middle of a bounty and then she gets the call from Fennec and then she's like, okay, like more of a cold open to the episode, I guess. Just to kind of see where she's at in the world rather than it just happened to be in the cave on Pabu in the one place where you would hide a ship like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was just not to use the Star Wars pun here, but it felt a little forced in terms of like the insertion of like, oh, Ventress is here now. And I get like,
yeah,
she's was set up as more of like, hey, this character used to be a villain and she's got a yellow lightsaber now, but she was a bad guy, a really bad guy. So like having her do the jump scare with Omega and having her like Omega run up and see her force choking Wrecker and all of that, it makes sense for the character. And I liked a lot of the episode. I just wish we got, and it's a hard criticism now, especially with Star Wars. A lot of people come at you for it and be like, why can't you just be happy with what you got? Be like, I just wish we got a little bit more of maybe the mystery of it all. Talk about Ventress, talk about where she is. Maybe we'll get a little bit more. I'm assuming we do later on this season, if they're going to be anything like Fennec and Cad Bane, how they kind of threw him in at the middle of that season. You don't see him for a couple episodes, and then they're back, right? Towards the end. I would assume the same thing happens with Ventress here.
Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. One thing I wanted to happen and did was just to hear the freaking word midichlorian, which thank you, Asajj, for dropping it.
We all knew, but we got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I never, ever once expected that the episode would be freaking Asajj training Omega. The whole time I'm like, this is so weird, but like interesting at the same time, because I never thought that would happen with her. Now, the only thing I wish is like you guys mentioned was just like, how the hell are you alive? What were you doing before this? And she said that little comment at the end, like, I got a few lives left. Like she's a freaking cat. So, I mean, we all know we're going to get more of her, and that'll probably answer that, which will be fine. But the stuff with Omega was really, really interesting. How she was talking about how the Kaminoans cloned 1 million of you guys. So it's possible, right, that you could be force sensitive. So that was interesting to hear that. But like, it still kind of leaves you in the same spot where is she force sensitive or is she not? Because it could still go either way. Either way, you know what I mean?
It was like, it was implied that like she told Omega she wasn't, but then they were like, you're lying. And then it was like, well, she needs basically training. It's like she needs training, and it's like, okay, so she is, or she like, and we know with like recent developments with like the force of like everybody is force sensitive in a way, but like obviously you have a higher aptitude for it, and so Omega seems to be one of those now. But she doesn't have any training. I mean, she's like 13 years old. She's older than Anakin started training. And yet, like, she's still, like, there's little things. I said in our episode last week that I think Omega is going to be somewhat of like when it comes to her force aptitude, to be someone kind of like Chirrut, where Chirrut wasn't necessarily just a straight up Jedi, but like, obviously you see him, like, he is in tune with the force. He has faith in the force. And the force provides for him in the very end, even if he does die, you know, like, and I think Omega is kind of like that in a way, and I think we will. The Brad Rowell and Jennifer Corbett have said that we will get answers by the end of the season.
About Omega, right?
This season?
I believe so.
Yeah, about Omega, right? They did make that comment.
It was before the show had even premiered. A lot of content creators got early access to the episodes, and I believe they got all the way up to this episode, so they didn't see this one.
They didn't get to this one.
And they were like, "What? Like, are we going to get answers for that?" And they're like, "Yes, we will."
Yeah.
You know,
I would hope so if it's the last season.
Yeah, like it's because, of course, like I think we're going to get more Omega beyond this season. Like,
I think so too.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine they kill Omega off at the end of this. If I was a betting man, I would say my money is safe saying that Omega is not going to die. They put so much effort into just that character for her to be like, yeah, the blood transfusion worked, and then kill her off as just the example of like, hey, it could work. I can't imagine.
Can you pull up the Trees' comment? Because I want to address this. I think there's this misconception. This is, and I feel like this is something that I have to like beat over the head with people, is like, and I don't mean that in a mean way, the Trees. I'm just saying this has always been the case with the Force. Everyone has midichlorians. Everyone has the Force within themselves. Han Solo has the Force, okay? The only thing that is exempt from that is droids, unless you're pulling in legend stuff, where some droids are Force sensitive, and that's whack. As far as we know, that is not the case.
Like
all living beings have the Force. Now, the way it is described, and Will, if you want to pull up that panel from Rise of Kylo Ren, if you have it on
I'm already
hand,
looking for it.
I knew you were.
Yeah.
Of basically, it's like the midichlorians is a metric for how easily you can grasp the Force. Now, Sabine, while I'm not upset with her having the Force, because I think with enough training she should be able to access it. It's just, that's my one nitpick with Ahsoka, is that they kind of make a jump from, oh, she has no, like, it's not like a little trickle, like she just kind of like doesn't have it and then she does have it. That's my one criticism with that show. Omega is a character that, like, she clearly naturally has some sort of affinity. We don't know to what level yet, but everybody has the Force. And if with Omega and Will, would you like to read this?
In your Luke voice.
Oh, I wish I had a good Luke Skywalker voice. I really don't.
You can learn today.
Also, Ben, it isn't stronger. That's not how it works. The
That's the
Force
thing.
can be a trickle, a stream, a river, a flood for anyone who can sense it. Think of yourself as a door. The wider you open, the more easily the Force flows through you. Some people just start out with their door a bit more open, but any door can open wide.
Yeah. So
And
someone
he's
like
teaching
Sabine
Storm that's Storm as a kid.
from the X-Men.
Yeah. The difference in voice there made it sound like it was Two-Face explaining the Force.
Wow.
That's actually, I'll take that as a compliment. That's not how the Force works. Shut up.
But so clearly with someone like Omega, like, you know, Ventress says there's all these clones. We don't, like, it's possible, right? Now, I think it's pretty safe to say, well, even in the very first episode of Clone Wars, Yoda's talks to the clones and says, like, the Force is within all of you, you know? First episode of Clone Wars. So this is nothing new. If we get to the Sabine discussion again, it is a little bit of critique that I have, that they kind of go from like 0 to 100, and there's not at least a little bit of a progression. But like, I can give them the benefit of the doubt, especially because Sabine is a descendant of Tar Vizsla. Like, she is of House Vizsla. So. But with Omega,
those episodes of Rebels where Sabine is training with the Darksaber and she bests Kanan and stands over him, like, screaming in her rage, like, I forget who I was talking to about this. It makes sense as to why in the Ahsoka series, Ahsoka says, like, she didn't want to train her because of that rage and because of that anger. Dude, she knocks down Kanan and just stands over him with the Darksaber. Like, she could have ended Kanan right there. And her rage all throughout that, too, of like, I guess Ezra's a really good student because you're a terrible teacher, and then throws the Darksaber at him. Like, there was so much anger that she had And she was
Man.
actively such, like, you could say she's good at combat because she was trained as a Mandalorian. I would say that that's some of it, but there's also the thing of, like, maybe she was so good in her Mandalorian training because
So is Din
of
Djarin.
her-
He sucks holding the
Exactly.
Darksaber.
Exactly.
So bad.
That's 100% it. So it's just the energy that you and how you let it flow through you. I do think one thing I'm happy about in this episode, though, is I'm very happy while they were put into those, like, the danger situations with Ventress and Omega and the big Kraken looking thing that they had to fight at the end, because every episode of the Bad Batch
The
needs a
Sleeper
giant monster.
2.0.
Gosh, every episode needs a giant monster of this season. But when that was happening, I was really hoping they didn't, and they did not do the thing of, like, Omega, the Force Awakens and Omega, because they are in a danger situation. You know what I mean? Where, like, she's pushed to her limit. Ventress is wrapped up in that tentacle. She has to do something, and, like, she lashes out, and it's kind of like the Cal Kestis thing from Fallen Order, where he screams. And that's where they all stop.
Yeah.
I was hoping they didn't do that, because I think that would have been a little bit too much, and I'm happy they didn't. So it's still a little bit more of a mystery. I want my answers of how this is going on, but I do like that points are still the mystery. It keeps me engaged.
I want to say, honestly, if I had to choose one criticism of this episode, and I feel like we're focusing on a lot of criticisms because I did like the episode, is like, I don't need Ventress to explain to the Batch, like, why she's alive or anything, because it doesn't really make sense. Like, why would she, you know? But I'm like, okay, why are you so interested in these M count targets? You know, like, why did you go at it? Like, we didn't get that, you know? Like, we could have at least gotten a line from Hunter of him being like, why are you so interested in it, you know? And it's like, we didn't even get really a tease of that. Like, she just leaves, and it's like, okay, is she working with the Path? Is she trying to find Quinlan? Is she like, what is she, why does she care, you know?
You have
I think
the Path, right? You have to.
Yeah, I think it has to do with that, but also we're kind of operating under not just the pretense, but the knowledge that we are going to get this explained at some point. So I kind of feel better about it that way, because this is the Bad Batch story. If, like, we spent the whole time with her explaining it all about her, you know, it kind of takes away from the story at hand. And so she's just kind of another one of those transient characters that goes in and out of their life. And I doubt we're going to see her again in the season. If we do, that's fine. But I see, like, this is a one and done thing. We'll see her later, like in a Tales of the Jedi season 2. Another series, what have you.
Do we have, speaking of that, Cole, do we have that article that you sent today in the group chat, Will?
I got it.
Where's my phone?
There you go. Right there.
Oh, there it is.
already on.
Come on.
There we go.
Yeah, that's from the voice actor. So, Futterman is
Read it in
name.
Asajj's voice.
They found a way to continue her story.
That was Watto.
Hey, they found a way to continue her story.
They found a way to continue her story.
To continue her story. I think that they might have discovered that the fans really love this character and they want her around, which makes me very happy because I love her too and I want to kill her.
That was my very awful.
That was
Asajj
so
Ventress.
good. Can you go back and do that in the Dark Disciple audiobook?
Wally.
Diamond Ventress, everybody. Zod Venture.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, so clear. Like, I think this.
Wait, do we have a cold clone? Oh, it's not.
That's Ventress. Like that's Ventress with her aggressive side part. Which, by the way, I said in the group chat. But why does her hair look better when she got out of the water than when it did with like her like aggressive like side part?
Dude, I hope that they learn from our reaction from that, and like whenever we see her again, like the hair's like that would just be really great.
It looks.
She has like a foldable comb, like the ones that look like switchblades that she just goes out and she combs it back like a like a 50s shark.
God.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get her in the finale again. Because like now more than ever, and she even kind of hinted that, you know, Omega needs training, but you guys can't be around. So it's kind of like, is it going to be they're going to die? And then she literally has no choice. She's going to go with Asajj and go to the path. But what I want is, if there is a spin-off show, I don't want like Omega training as a traditional Jedi, like no, but I would love for her to be trained by Asajj, because like Asajj was trained by Jedi, by Dooku, and by Night Sisters. So like literally, if she trains anybody now, she's going to use a mixture of what she knows, and Omega's going to learn something different than a traditional like youngling would. So that'd be interesting to see how that would go, especially because Omega would be so broken by losing her brothers. Nala Sage probably going to die. She's going to lose everybody and be with Asajj. So that could be really interesting if they went that route in another show.
I do think Ventress was like the perfect character for Omega in this episode. Like, you know, I'm sure there's probably somebody out there, they're like, man, I wish it was Ahsoka or whatever. And it's like, that would have just been so weird. I think Ventress is
Varys.
Ooh,
I would have hated that.
Nah,
I would have been pissed if it was Barriss. Like
I'm still in the camp that Barriss should be an Inquisitor. I wish he played the Reva role in Kenobi, but that's
damn you, Deborah Chow.
Hey, she didn't write. Who wrote Kenobi?
Well, she could have even played like
Harry Joby Harold or some crap.
Joby Harold.
She could have played an even more
elaborate
Marok role if she wanted to do that as well.
Yeah.
Like if they expounded more upon that, you know.
That would have been crazy.
Dude,
imagine if Barriss, if Barriss was Marok. Like I know that would have been super weird, but like that would have been
beautiful.
That would have been interesting. I mean,
imagine like Ahsoka takes Marok down, and then like she realizes that Marok is this corpse, and then she's like, wait, that kind of looks like, and then it just kind of like fades away. It was like, whoa, hold on.
Oh, you mean that she was dead and also still him?
Oh, I was thinking alive.
Yeah, I was thinking alive.
It could be either or, but like in the same context that Marok is being used as like basically this suit of dead armor almost. It would be really wild to not be able to get that closure with Barriss and find out that she became an Inquisitor. That would be something.
It's still one of those like,
dude, that's kind of a cool connection because of the way that it happened with Luminara in Rebels too.
True.
Like Luminara being the dead beacon.
The fake out
and thinking that she's alive, and then she's actually just a skeleton. So for Barriss to be like the foil to that as a beacon of like she's just being used as this force dummy for murder. That's awesome.
Oh man,
I really like that.
Yeah, imagine like it is being used as like what if they go with that kind of being used as a beacon type thing, and when someone's looking for Ahsoka, or like let's say like Vader, you know, finds out that Ahsoka might have lived, and it's in between that time and Rebel season 2, right? He uses Barriss as a beacon to kind of lead Ahsoka in, or something like that. That would just be, I don't know, that'd be crazy, but there's
I like that a lot.
Potential there.
Barriss is one of those characters that I'm like, is one of the great Star Wars mysteries of like, where's she at? You know, what happened? There's a couple of those characters that you think about who got imprisoned, like Dogma, or which is a running Dogma got imprisoned, right?
I'm assuming he got court-martialed at least.
Okay,
but he was sent cuffed, you know.
Yeah, and that's a theory that people think is for Clone X. But who was the one early in Clone Wars also that was like Slick? Yeah,
my boy Slick. Yeah.
Is that the guy that like that Cody and Rex bust? Like he's like actually Man, what a loser.
So real quick before we continue, shout out, there's about 60 people watching right now. Appreciate all 60? You guys. So
everybody has been turning up every week.
Be sure to subscribe to Mortis FM. I just dropped the link in the chat. But also, be sure to subscribe to Diamondfigs. He just hit 27K.
Check out his new episode with Connor from Beyond the Dune Sea.
Let's get him to 40K. And then, if you guys are feeling generous, you know, I'm trying to get to 6K. Little guy over here trying to climb the hill. So I'll drop all these links in the chat, guys. So
that's for Cole.
Oh God. Yeah,
I do think this is super random, and I like we were talking about Cole and I have these OCs, and maybe one day I'll talk about them. But we have a friend who also has incorporated one of his OCs into that, and we were talking about like who his proper Jedi Master would be, and we ended up choosing Pong Krell because Pong Krell like hates clones, and I'm like, Pong Krell is a very interesting character because I would love to see at what point he got the like why he hates clones so much, because he just kind of shows up there like, here's this guy. He hates the clones. Oh, and he works for Dooku now. But yeah. Meredith has one who's also Krell's apprentice.
Hey, Meredith, there you go.
Meredith is my homie. She pulls up every week, and what is LaQuane's wife called? Or what is her name? Meredith. It's your profile picture. You got it. Because that's LaQuane's wife right there, right?
Is that who it was?
No.
I was trying to figure out who that was.
Yeah, she's the purple Twi'lek baddie with the sniper.
Yeah, that's
Sue.
it.
I was gonna say
Sue.
Sue, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be wrong. I should have trusted my instinct.
Come on,
Is
Cole.
LaQuane okay?
No,
Is he
sorry.
out there? Is he safe? This is super random, but I'm thinking about it. He was in Bad Batch season 1.
Where is LaQuane? Is he safe? Is he all right?
It seems in your murder.
Did you
killed
notice that?
Uh-oh.
190? Do I have to bring it back this week?
Oh,
Am I-
Guys, let's get
No.
let's get up to 200.
you need to throw it back this week.
200
Grayson.
today.
wants this.
200.
Meredith said
guys.
LaQuane is Clone X. Oh, my.
No, he's getting up. Oh God!
Grayson, you know you
That
didn't have to
sounded
do that,
like
right?
you.
There was no ask for that.
No,
yeah,
he
nobody
wanted to
asked
do
for
that.
this.
He wanted to.
Was
do
that a pun? Did you say nobody asked for that?
Oh.
Oh my god.
So anyway, about the episode, I thought that Ventress and Omega actually had a really great dynamic. So if they decided to continue on with the like Ventress potentially being her master, I'd be okay with that. Because I feel
Yeah.
There was this
Well,
really you mentioned that, and like I completely agree because Ventress ended up being. I'm sorry, Meredith. Okay. Every subscriber we're starting at 100 twerks, and every subscriber we get, it'll go down to where I'll do less twerks. I'm kidding.
Wow, that's
awful.
Yeah. What up, Tails?
But I was gonna say that like there was a thing in the episode where they're kind of talking about how they were both pawns of the Empire, like the clones and Ventress. And I think that's like, and there's a really small but great moment where they're like that none of them trust Ventress. They find out who she is, and after like the big fight and everything, which is a really good fight scene, by the way.
she's throwing hands.
Dude,
Throwing
she
hands in
was
that fight, dude.
kicking the crap out of the Bad Batch. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I
so-
really liked the animation for it too.
It was good.
Yeah. I love that whole sequence because she did a little bit of everything. She used the Force to pull their weapons, kick their ass. Then she took out the saber. And my favorite scene, I wanted to make the thumbnail, but I know people would cry and complain. Oh, you ruined it. Shut up. But when Omega ran into the cave and she had the saber to Hunter's throat and was force choking Wrecker, I was like, that was a crazy ass shot.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I was like the fact that she comes back and they're just all on the ground.
And
Yeah.
Crosshair's knocked unconscious in the back.
It was a great fight. But I was gonna say is that like they're trying to figure out like, oh, if Ventress is trustworthy, and they're like, no, not at all, whatever. And Omega's like, I didn't give up on you, Crosshair. Like you were like there's a clear dynamic there, and it's like Omega is someone who like she doesn't give up on people, and Ventress is already like, she didn't want to fight them. She even says that loud and clear. That's from the trailer.
Yeah.
Like so, it was interesting. I think there was a connection there. I agree with Cole. Like, and I want to see more of her character. Like, I think. People, a lot of people are complaining like, oh, some characters should stay dead. But I think Ventress is one of those characters that like, when we did read Dark Disciple, like, yeah, they weren't like, oh, and she's coming back. But like, there's room for that to happen, especially because Night Sisters are one of those factions where like, they are resuscitated. I mean, Maul was intrinsically tied to the Night Sisters of like him coming back, and him getting his legs and stuff. So I don't know.
Shout out to Morgan with the 10-pound euro or whatever that is, super chat. So where's the green guy at? Where's the little guy at? You know, the mind trick guy. Here we go.
Mind trick's gonna work on me. Only money.
Watto is blue.
Bad Batch sequel series. Just Omega, Star Wars, Mark Omega connection to Rogue One, and Boba meets his sister. Because I highly doubt they'll meet in the Bad Batch. I still think I still think there's a chance they could run into Boba. Because I can see something like, well, if you're my brother, are you do you have the high M count too? Because I know that's a topic that people have been talking about. Well, if Omega has high M count potentially, does Boba, since they're both unaltered clones?
Do we? I've been thinking about this, and I think there's still room for Boba to show up. Next week we get a double episode, which I'm pretty
Double
hyped
feature
about.
next week.
Yeah.
Usually those double episodes are usually pretty packed with some juiciness.
They are.
But like, are people? I know there's like people in comments and stuff. They're like, oh, Omega is Rey or Rey's mom or whatever, and I'm like,
oh my god,
no, and stuff. And like, oh, Rey or Omega is Snoke, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know where that's coming from.
We got to get over the Snoke theories, man. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's.
I still want to know who he is, bro. He's a person.
Yeah,
I still want to know who Snoke is.
I think he's. Connor has joked that Snoke is a strand cast of Plagueis, which is basically like what Rey's dad is. Rey's dad is like a genetic offshoot of Palpatine. But I've always wondered with Omega's blonde hair that almost looks Palpatine-esque. I'm like, is she a mixture of Jango and Palpatine's DNA? Is that why they need her? Like, because we read Plagueis, and that's like, I don't know. That's something. I feel like that's something Palpatine would do. But I don't know. I don't know if she's tied to Palpatine at all. But it's just like, I don't know. It's still.
Maybe there's a positive M count transfer because she shares similar DNA with Palpatine. I mean,
yeah,
that could be an interesting thing about.
But like, didn't Nala say make Omega? Like Nala say made Boba for Jango. And I'm guessing at the same time, she's like, oh, I want one for me. And she made Omega for her. Because Omega's always been with her.
That is what happened. It's like,
up until Omega, Boba Fett was the only other unaltered clone. And I guess we all thought Omega was that way, other than now realizing the whole M count thing. That's what I assume.
My only thing is like, we know Nala Se made her, and we know that she's supposed to be an unaltered clone, but like they've lied about cloning stuff in the past, and we still don't really know why Nala Se made her. Like, it wasn't just to make her. Like, there was a reason. Kaminoans are more devious than that.
She wanted a friend.
I think the reasoning that she gave us was like, oh well, I wanted a lab assistant, but like, we know how Nala Se works. Like,
and Emery Carr already exists. And
Emery Carr exists, and we don't know how that's the case either.
How is she the sister? Is she the sister, or is she like secretly Omega's mother?
We don't know. That's
because she's big.
What I don't know. Not necessarily tied to Sifo Dyas, but like, what if because Sifo Dyas was the other guy who was involved in the deal for the clones getting made, like Jango was like, I don't want payment, but I do want one altered clone. What if Sifo Dyas was standing in the back and he was like, yeah, one for me too, and that was Omega. He just died, and that's what it was. Dude, that would be kind of crazy.
I still think it would be
one for me too.
If it was like one of Plagueis's last plans, because we all know how much he was about midichlorians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what if he was like, hey guys, I need you to do something about M count, please.
She was just in a test tube right next to whatever his name is, Venomous.
Or, like
who was in the big test tube? Which one of them?
You would think that if this was like a hatched plan, then Palpatine would know about it, right? He would probably want to go like, hey, get the hands on. Like, I need her. I need her for my project. Mm-hmm. But if he doesn't know about it, then like, what if it was a secret Plagueis type thing? Do we know?
Does Palpatine know who Omega is? Like,
I don't know.
Does he even know she exists, or is that a strictly?
Well, I think he might now after Hemlock confirmed it. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to have to report those findings and why he's using all these resources.
We haven't. By the way, we haven't seen Hemlock in a while.
That's true.
Jerk.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Also,
next week.
Meredith said, "Can we agree next week is a Pabu invasion?"
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's likely because the way Ventress got there, and she's like, "You're not as safe as you think you are." She got
100%.
there. I'm like, dude, the Empire has gotta.
I think we found out what Ventress was the harbinger of. Ventress is like, yo, guys, you're not safe here. You know, you can be found. I found you. The Empire's on your
Yeah.
tail. If they want you, they'll find you. You know,
Yeah.
you need to leave. And not to mention, I'm all about environmental design. And Pabu doesn't look as like happy-go-lucky as usual. It was kind of overcast. It was kind of stormy.
Yep.
And I don't know. I'm just reading. I might be reading too much into it, but that's telling me like maybe we should leave. Maybe it's
A
time to go.
storm is
The
brewing.
visual,
Yeah.
it's the visual
Even-
storytelling of it. Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Asajj said you're not as safe here as you think. You guys need to leave. Like she's foreshadowing something.
And she's also
Yeah.
was also saying that like Omega is probably the closer or the more that you hold on to her, the less safe she is. Like they're like eventually like she's getting to this point where you're gonna have to let her go, which is I think indicative of what the ending will likely be, where she is going to have to leave them.
Dead.
Yeah, it is kind of like this weird irony here where, you know, like she wanted them all to be together, but now at the end she's probably going to have to leave them. Even if they don't die, it might have to just be kind of like a
They're dead.
I accept, like I have to go, you know, train or be on my own or whatever. Maybe she'll go seek out Ventress. Who knows, man? I mean,
Or maybe her leaving will have something to do with like their survival, where like
maybe, yeah,
where like they can leave and go off and do like the whole our mission is ended sort of deal of like the mission was make sure that Omega is safe, and now Omega has been trained enough so that she is safe. She's been trained by all 5 of them, so she understands that like the warrior mindset, the soldier mindset of like being able to take care of herself. We see it in the cave where season 1 she was a scared little girl. She wouldn't have just walked in there, but now she's able to like, oh, there's a ship in here, I should go check this out. And Batcher's even like, you shouldn't go in there, and she's like, shut up, dog, I'll figure it out. But and then also too, like just the like you were talking about the visual storytelling of when Ventress is being attacked by the thing and she's like, tell them to stop, I'll take care of it, and they're literally being helicopter parents flying over them of like, we have to save them, shooting at the thing, and she's like, just leave it alone, dude, like I'll figure it out, dad, I'll do my homework later. And then that's obviously how Ventress ends up being able to focus on it. So one thing I did want to point out though with the whole Ventress Omega deal, I did find it very similar with Omega and Ventress talking to each other, and then at the end, Ventress being like, "You're too close to them. Omega's too close to the Bad Batch, so I can't train her unless you let them go." Is kind of close to the whole Ahsoka Grogu thing of like, he's too close to you, I cannot train him because of that attachment. Obviously Ventress doesn't have like Anakin in mind when she says that. It's more of just the physicality of like, she cannot focus on anything else if you guys are around, and you guys are too overbearing on her. So it's like, you got to let the bird fly away from the nest sort of deal. And obviously that's what we'll get at the end of this season.
That's exactly what I felt. I'm like, this reminds me of that Ahsoka episode, because she tried training Grogu and like the same thing. And towards the end of the episode, it also kind of reminded me of like when Qui-Gon first met Anakin, how Qui-Gon kind of sensed it in Anakin. I feel like Asajj senses something in Omega, that there's something there potentially.
A ship, a cup,
a speeder. I don't know. Do you guys think, like, I know, Tony, I think you think this, and I'm like 50-50 on the matter, and if done right, I'm not against this, but like, we've recently seen this kind of increase in potential masters and apprentices after Return of the Jedi with obviously there's Luke and Ben, that's kind of the main one, but then we've got Ahsoka and Sabine, possibly Ezra and Jason. We're seeing in Survivor, we're seeing Cal and Kata. They're kind of, which I think she's, force sensitive in some way.
Yeah.
Do we think that like they could make it all the way to where Ventress and Omega are a thing?
If they did, I think it'd be different though, because it wouldn't be like that traditional Jedi Master and Padawan. Because Asajj, like, she does what she wants. She's like a Ronin.
It'd be kind of like that'd be more Balin and Shin right there.
It'd be more like that, and I'm down for that. I would prefer that than the traditional like Omega getting her little Padawan braid and looking like a little Anakin. Like, give me something different where she's like an older, grizzled person surviving that can use the Force, but isn't like a true Jedi, but isn't like a Sith. Like, I want something different.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
There was implication that, like, with Nika Futterman's kind of interviews and things, that she could go on, like, past the original trilogy. And, like, again, if they're not Jedi, that's fine. I don't see Ventress and Omega being the type of people to say they make it all the way to the Return of the Jedi to be like, we need to go help Luke Skywalker, fight the Emperor and Vader. That'd be dumb. That's not in their character. Absolute Sabers, I love that guy. He helped me.
Yes.
When I got into the Saber game, his videos were essential for me learning how to program Profi. So
Sam's a legend, bro. What up, bro?
That's his name, Sam?
Yeah.
Sam,
come on, Grayson.
I don't know him like you do, buddy.
Come on.
Nice to meet you, Sam. I'm Grayson. I've commented on a couple of your videos before. But like, I would be fine with that, but I always also have this issue of like, the more Force-sensitive people we start, not that I think that Luke has to be the only Force-sensitive person by Return of the Jedi, but like, the more of these kind of Jedi-type characters we get towards the, like, it muddies the pool. Like, that's why, like, Kanan and Ezra work for me, because it's like, Kanan and Ezra, like, not even physically possible. We still have never got an answer on Ahsoka, and I know Ahsoka, she's not a Jedi, but I feel like, unless someone explicitly told her, like, hey, don't go, like, Luke has to do this on his own, she would be the type of person to show up and help Luke,
Yeah.
Token Jedi, yeah.
I really like the term.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I've never really had much of a problem of like, oh, there's too many Force sensitives in this era. Because like, in actuality, it's really like a handful of people. It's not too many, but also it takes a lot to really just assume the role of, oh, I'm going to be the leader of the Rebel Alliance and go take down the Empire and stuff. I think Ahsoka, probably after like the events of, what was it, season 3 or 4 of Rebels, when Ezra, yoinks her out. I think like she probably changed her ideology, like her motives. She wanted to do something else. She probably became less focused on the Rebel Alliance. Now, for Ezra and Kanan, it does make sense because they were actively a part of the Rebel Alliance, and so yeah, we have some good reasoning there as to why we don't see them. But Ventress is out of the game. Cal, we don't even know what his plans are now.
He's so done.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things going on in the galaxy, and for all things considered, like after Empire, a lot of people considered the Rebel Alliance kind of a lost cause. So this was more of just kind of a last ditch effort kind of thing. So
speaking on the Ahsoka thing, I don't know if this is cope or whatever, because they never really explicitly say it, but I have always took the impression that when Ahsoka gets put back into that portal, yes, I know in season 2 you see her and Vader walking out of the temple, but you never see them in the same shot. It's always cut. I've always took it as when she gets put back in that portal, the Force puts her after Return of the Jedi. I think that makes more sense, because that would probably be about roughly 4 or 5 years after, and I think when she gets put in, does that make sense?
Explain that again. So she gets pulled out of the battle with Vader on Malachor, and
that's
then,
like 17. That's like 2 BBY. Roughly.
Yep, and obviously it's after Kanan's death, but because there's that whole thing of like watching Kanan die in the portal, and that's why Ezra's like, oh, I pulled you out, that means I can get Kanan. And it's like, that's not the lesson you're being taught here. But like, then what you mean when Palpatine is like running after Ezra, and then Ahsoka runs the opposite direction, is what you mean? Because when they're in the World Between Worlds, they split up, and Ahsoka and Morai, they like take off in another direction, and that's the whole thing with Palpatine. And then Ezra leaves. So you mean she's still in the world between worlds, and when she comes out of there, it's after Return of the Jedi.
I think they
possible.
never say. That's what I think, because that's
Do you
always been an
see her
that's
come
always
out of that. I forget seeing her come out of the world between worlds. I
I
just
see
remember her running.
Yeah, you see her kind of like go through a portal, I think, or whatever. But then the next shot that
don't
you
I
see of
remember
her is when Vader's like walking out of the temple, you see Ahsoka walking in. So I'm really sure.
it's that season
Walking
2
into the temple on Malachor.
Yeah.
Dude, why don't I remember this?
It's weird. They don't explicitly say. I'm one of those things.
It's like a split second shot. You can barely see her.
And
For
I've always,
me, I feel like that was just subtle
I
visual
thought you
representation of she's live.
Oh, wait.
You know?
that's what I think is. I think it could possibly be. I know this is not Bad Batch related, and I'm sorry, guys, but I think it's good discussion because I like talking about this stuff. But like I've always maybe in the past year since Ahsoka, I've always been like, okay, where is she at in Return of the Jedi? Because clearly she's there, right? Like she lives, they take her out, and then she gets put back into that same point in the timeline. But then I'm like, but then she's out there, right? What is she doing? She's just twiddling her thumbs, not helping the rebellion. What's going on, right? Then I'm like, well, maybe it's, because of Palpatine meddling with that stuff. When she gets shot back through, it's after Return of the Jedi's already happened. She comes back and she's like, the rebels have won,
Oh, that'd be a good question to ask Dave Filoni if you ever like ran into him somewhere. Hey, real
Let
quick.
me call him. Hey, Dave. I'm kidding. Hey, that'd be good for you when you go to Celebration next year.
Yeah, imagine if I ran into him, I'd have to spit that out quick. Be like, Dave, I need to know this real quick.
Yeah. What's Ahsoka doing? Right?
Yeah.
And not
telling you. I still feel like that is that's something that has yet to be explained, but will be.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be potentially. Yeah. So,
But potential like season 2 Ahsoka content right there. Like maybe her and Sabine are having a talk, and Sabine's like, "Yeah, by the way, where'd you go?"
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Speaking of Celebration, though, what'd you guys think of this freaking key art when it got revealed the other day?
That's just so cool.
I'm so sad. I want to go so bad.
Are you gonna? So like the tickets go on sale May 2nd at 7 p.m. Right? Are you guys gonna try to buy tickets just in case, and then if you can't sell them?
Nah, I don't have the money for it.
Is that something you can do? I mean, $168
course.
for 3 days is not bad.
It's not bad. So these are gonna sell out the very first day, guaranteed, and then the rest probably pretty quick. Like single days or 58. But are any of you guys gonna try to grab tickets that day?
I know.
I don't know,
man.
man.
Will
I don't
hates
know.
Will,
cons.
you're not gonna go, Will?
I want to. I just don't want to spend that money and then not go. And then try to sell them.
If you can sell them, then
you'd
that's
be able
one
to sell
thing.
it. This is gonna be gone within 30 to 40
Can I buy
minutes.
3-day kids? Can I just get on my knees?
No, you're too tall. But yeah,
It's the opposite of 3 kids in a trench coat.
if you don't buy it that day, then yeah, man, it'll be.
Are you getting the Jedi Master one?
I'm gonna try. It's gonna be impossible. That sells out in 60 seconds, bro. It's
$94.
Yeah, but it's worth.
What is it? What is that for? Like VIP stuff, getting in the panels, things like
bro,
that.
You're a king in a castle like Borat, bro. You get everything there. So
King in the castle.
Yeah, it's crazy. All the perks, getting in early, waiting no lines for photos, autographs. You get into all the panels. You get a bunch of like bougie stuff. It's
when is this go on sale?
So Thursday, May 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I got time to think about that.
Oh
yeah. We got a full month.
I thought you were going to say Friday.
The thing is, it's for me is I'm like, I would go if the ticket to get over there was not like $1,000+.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah. But I look at it as like a 2-for-1 trip because I've always wanted to do Japan, but I just never wanted to go because of the price and the 18-hour flight. Like F that. But like, I'm not missing the Revenge of the Sith panel, especially if Natalie Portman shows up. I'm gonna be front row crying. Happy.
How many actors do you think are gonna show up since it's in overseas? I mean, I know actors go overseas all the time.
A bunch. It's gonna be a bunch, and like everybody for your favorite show, Andor will probably be there. Ahsoka cast will be there. The Mando cast, because they're gonna be promoting it. We'll probably get the trailer for like the Mando movie, maybe a trailer for Ahsoka season 2.
Maybe the Dave movie.
Maybe-
he's working on the Ahsoka
Yeah,
show.
we'll get Ahsoka first, and then any
Yeah.
other new announcements and stuff. So it's gonna be a wild time, but man,
It's-
when I this
am I-
this is just gorgeous, bro.
The thing that art is amazing. Just like with
Gorgeous.
are those cherry blossoms?
Yeah, bro.
Gotta be.
Come on. You ever been to Japan?
I feel like
'Cause I have
7 times actually.
I feel like they just made them violet to match the Star Wars Celebration color for
Yeah.
that year.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
It looks so good though. It's interesting that it's strictly Empire key art. Like nothing. Usually with a lot of their art, they incorporate like all of the eras and everything. Right?
Isn't this first TIE fighter? Isn't
Never mind.
aren't
That's
these?
first order.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the graphic designer just made a flub and got
Either
the
that or
wrong ti-
prequels are getting
Yeah,
slept on.
honestly, just like looked up what a TIE fighter looks like and drew that. Are the X-wings Empire
Those are
X-wings?
those
or-
are those are original
Yeah, those are
trilogy.
the-
Yeah,
original.
yeah. And the at
I think
Yeah.
they just messed up. I think the graphic designer just was like, "Oh crap,
this thing
Yeah.
like a katana is insane.
is it a katana?"
It comes to like a point.
It
Yeah, it's a
kinda
little bit more
does.
rounded.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
He's a
That's
ninja.
kinda- That's pretty rad.
So with
So-
this key art is going to be literally on everything: t-shirts, hats, hoodies, mugs, magnets. I'm doomed, bro, because it's just
I might-
beautiful.
Can you bring 7 suitcases and get us all something?
Yeah, I got you. Whatever. If you guys don't go, I could get for. Yeah, trust me.
My biggest regret is that I still don't have a ton of 2017 celebration merch. I have a T-shirt that doesn't
Me
fit
neither.
anymore.
Yeah, it sucks, man. But yeah, guys. So May
Do
2nd.
you think after this it'll be back in the States?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 2026 and 2027 will be back to back. My best guess, maybe one Chicago, one Orlando, or vice versa. But 2026, like with the movies coming out, they can't miss an opportunity to promote it. And then 2027 is the 50th year anniversary of A New Hope. And hopefully George will show up to that one like he did in 2017 for the 40-year anniversary. So
Was he there?
Yeah.
I thought he just did a video.
no, he
He
was
was
there.
Yeah, he was there.
In Orlando, yeah. He was there for the
So
Karen
were we.
Fisher panel. We were all there
Lawn
too, but
panel and
not
stuff.
in there. Yeah.
And he did the he went to the Millennium Falcon like for those talks, you know how they did that on the show floor.
For the celebration stage.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember
yeah.
I remember trying to get through security and the panel was happening for like just like the kind of overview of the celebration panel. And I remember watching it on my phone. I don't think I had met you yet, Cole. But I was there with my dad and we were watching, and then like Samuel L. Jackson was like, and Mace Windu is waiting for his return and stuff like that. And everyone was like, yo, like it was crazy.
I found
Man.
the Rebels thing. I
Please-
can pull it up because
play it
this is
legally?
Can somebody?
A shout out to
Legally?
all 80 of you guys watching right now. Be sure to hit that
80?
like button and subscribe. Let's
Subscribe to
go.
everybody here. Is for someone who I'm like such a big Rebels fan, I like my memory
Rebels.
with these show. Yeah, I love Rebels too. My memory with this show is like lacking, bro. Like I want to rewatch it so bad.
Yeah,
And
so
I'm
she
getting
jumps
old.
through that portal.
So
That's
she
the
jumps through
Malacorp.
This thing,
Okay,
and then she wakes up.
Vader ain't
Oh, I
man
guess
no
you're
more.
right. I don't know why I don't remember this. She wakes
Doesn't
up.
she see Yoda too? Or no?
No,
No, that
don't
was
think in this
that was in
one.
the Temple on Lothal.
that was
Oh.
when Ezra got his crystal.
Yeah, and then they both run different directions. But it's also cool because there's the when there was still it was the Ahsoka Lives ? Movement that Dave was
Yeah.
wearing the shirt for. That's when they released all of those cards.
where she's like
Um,
walking through the water and stuff.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
they
Yeah.
used that for Ahsoka season 1. But it's interesting
I think it's.
too.
Hmm.
Yeah, go ahead,
Grayson.
Grayson. What do you think?
I was just gonna say, I think it's up to interpretation of like when she gets put back in the timeline. You know, like
Yeah.
because, and I know it's people like complain about time travel with like Ahsoka is that one thing where I'm like, that's fine. You know, like it's not explicitly time travel. Like if it was time travel, Ezra would have saved Kanan. You know, she
This
did
is
not
the way.
travel.
How do you know that?
See, she didn't move yeah, that's the thing is I'm like, I thought that too, this is the way, but there's nothing to indicate that didn't happen because like again, she was actively working with the rebellion before she went to Malachor. So why would she not? Nobody told her like, oh, hey, by the way, you got to go off and do your own thing for a while. Like what? She just walked.
She wouldn't get back and then be like, I'm not going to call any of the people, or Ezra, who was the one who saved her in the World Between Worlds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and
he would be on the top of the list.
Dave's notorious for leaving stuff open-ended. Like, even in the Ahsoka show, like the World Between Worlds scene, was that the World Between Worlds? Was it in her mind? Like, he likes to leave stuff open-ended for interpretation.
That's what's going to be fun about next year's celebration is I would assume the next time we hear anything from somebody like Filoni in terms of interviews, unless something happens this year where like Ahsoka season 2 is announced at the end of this year, like in December or something, and they start doing like a press thing but like we haven't gotten an interview with Dave like on camera since before Ahsoka came out.
It's wild.
Yep.
That's
why you got to go to Japan.
That was because Ahsoka was during the strikes.
Yeah. But that's a long time. And even like him being changed, like his role being changed and his promotion and everything, like, and the announcement of his movie and the announcement of other movies and the Mando
D23 is coming up.
Oh, I guess that's true. But you really think?
I don't think they're going to do much there for Star Wars. Maybe Marvel stuff. But
I mean, they always do something for Star Wars, right? Like, surely.
I don't know about always, surely, but
well, I mean, last year was when we saw all of the props and everything for Ahsoka, wasn't it? Because the D23 is July.
But they always have props at like those cons, so people could take pictures of. I mean, like panel-wise presentation, like reveals or trailers. I mean,
Celebration will be that.
Unless they're cooking up a new show for Asajj and Omega and they reveal it there.
When is D23?
Isn't it September?
It's somewhere between July and September. D23.
Or the earlier I would assume they put out the Tales trailer for D23.
It could be Tales trailer or your favorite show will it's Skeleton Crew.
August 9th, 10th, and 11th in Anaheim.
Got him.
When is that show? That show is who knows?
What up, Nick?
Pew, 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 pew.
What? Lacey, why are you lying? Harrison Ford is going to be at D23. That man's grumpy as hell. He doesn't like to go anywhere.
If it's not Indy 6.
Yeah, he's at the crib chilling.
Although, like most of this episode, Cole and I were worrying before, like, oh, like what if talking on Dark Side Secrets is gonna like thwart our thoughts for our episode, and now I realize I'm like most of this episode we did not talk about that. Like we talked about like Ahsoka and all that other stuff, but
we talked about it. I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. What I will say is I wish
you would get a new camera.
I wish we would see more of Echo. That's what I
want. Bro.
Where's
he at? What is he?
Appreciate
what
you,
Sam.
saying?
More of Echo?
Yeah.
100% agree. He's been slept on since the beginning of the series.
Yeah.
Why, bro?
I wish
I'm almost at this point now where with like the trajectory. Okay. So what are our guesses for next week? Next week's 2 episodes.
So next week's where's that son of a gun at? So Identity Crisis is for sure going to focus on Omega because now she's going to be like, am I a Jedi? Am I not a Jedi? And then Point of No Return, something bad. You think someone's going to die next week?
I think Point of No Return is just kind of like,
oh my God, no, Patrick, no, keep them away, the Martez sisters.
Put respect on their name. It's Martez, and they suck.
That's Will's favorite. Oh, he's back. What's up, Will? Go ahead,
William.
Sorry to
I
cut
do
you
have
off.
a jacket with the Martez sisters
no,
on it.
You're good. I'm thinking like Point of No Return. Like this might just be like, okay, we're now, we're basically at the end game here. I feel like this is just kind of starting the beginning of the end for the season. I'm honestly not sure. I kind of thought the Identity Crisis title name was referring to like one of the Clone X's, namely the one that Crosshair was fighting.
Yep.
I feel like it might have to do with that, but it could be like all encompassing, like multiple people having identity crises. So you never know.
It's true.
Either way, 2 episodes.
I would assume it's that clone
Bang.
guy, the X20, whatever his name is. I would assume it's
Oh,
that guy.
X2, right? Isn't it X2?
Well, it's just Clone X is what they're calling him, but
I would
X.
assume it's that, especially if it's going to be because we see him leading the invasion on Pabu. So I would assume it's him.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, that's that shot of him
his
standing
back, where he's like,
with his back against all of them, and there's the tree in the background,
Oh,
and
I
that's
love-
gotta be
right.
Pabu.
Yeah,
I
you're
love
right.
trailer spoilers. Love trailer
right.
spoilers, man.
yeah. Connor and Seth have been saying that. They're like, the more the season goes on, the more I hate that trailer.
Yeah.
Where like,
Yeah.
it just gives away a ton.
I
you know?
didn't notice that, so now I'm like, okay, I guess that's what's happening.
Yeah, that's basically the only other shot, other than there's one shot where there's a bunch of troopers running, and then Clone X is running the opposite way, or he's walking the opposite way, and then the turbo tank, which I'm almost certain is Juggernaut.
Bane. We haven't got Cat Bane yet either.
Ooh, Cad Bane.
When are we getting this mofo? What is he doing?
I don't know, bro. You think he's one of the bounty hunters looking for the high M count targets?
Of
I wouldn't be
course, bro.
surprised.
Of course.
I wouldn't be
That's
surprised
what he
at
does.
all.
Bro, he did that in Clone Wars. He was out there kidnapping babies for palps.
You're right.
Yeah,
He was.
that's his MO.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're a baby. Come
What
with me.
episode?
Jedi was what I do, and what I do ain't nice.
Cad Bane Wolverine.
Yeah, that would be awesome if he had.
Do you
Wolverine
think?
claws.
So do you think Cad Bane next week? Maybe.
I
don't
honestly
know.
have no idea.
Yeah, I'm at this point now. I think we said this on our show, Cole. Like, I'm at this point where, like, now that Ventress has shown up, I'm like, I literally, same thing with like Ahsoka after episode 5. I was like, I have no idea what we're in for the rest of this season.
Yeah.
192.
Get up there, Grayson. I'm just kidding.
No, nobody wants this.
No.
Oh, gosh.
God, I was gonna say subscribe, but do whatever you want.
I'm sorry, Meredith. Please stay subbed. Please don't unsubscribe. Please. Yeah, man. I don't know. That I'm
Oh, yeah,
I'm
it's the last one to
increasingly
Calvary as well.
dreading the end of this show. I'm not gonna be okay.
I hate that they say M count. Just say freaking midichlorian, bro.
Because it's like 7 more syllables.
So do you guys think we're gonna get Boba?
I mean, honestly, I really don't know now with the context of we're getting Cad Bane potentially, then maybe. You never know. Like, what if
Yeah.
Boba's also on this
Oh.
M count hunt? No idea.
And they kind of like scrap a little bit in that episode.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a good point, Cole. What if that's Boba's entryway into working with the Empire?
Well, here's the thing.
That's what that's what I said when we talked about it, the three of us. When
Yeah.
Cole was too big, he was too cool for
He
us.
was in Peridia
Well,
with
here's
some
the
nice
thing. We're kind of noticing that, like, in these later series, like Clone Wars season 7 and Bad Batch, like, we're basically getting the finished version of the unfinished episode. So, like, Bad Batch, and now we got Ventress back. So, like, what if this is going to be a situation where, oh, we're finally doing that Cad Bane and Boba standoff that we get in the unfinished episodes?
Yeah,
It's just not where he gets that helmet dent, though.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a different version of it.
They have
I'll
a
take it.
second duel. Because also,
Woo.
Cad has the thing in his head already.
The plate,
That's right. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Like, so I guess that already happened.
Yeah, but they could still be beefing.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Boba just because of how clone oriented this is. If there is any time to show him, this would be the time. And we already have Daniel Logan, that
He was there.
is one of the clones. So
Daniel Logan has been
More.
reposting all of anybody that we
Yeah.
know. Yeah, he's been reposting on his stories like
Any
Batch,
Boba
Bad
art,
Batch.
yeah, and it's like, should you be doing that if that happens? I just
he's
don't know.
he's
Who cares?
absolutely giving it away. Like, I think
Yeah.
Boba's probably coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, we need it.
There was
man.
that thing in the one person that both Quinlan and Asajj went to go see to find the other person
Yep.
in Dark Disciple was Boba. So
Yep.
like
Mhm.
it would make sense that now Ventress is running around as this like non-Jedi Force user bounty hunter sort of deal. Is like maybe if Fennec has contact with Asajj, there it's all like too close in the solar system of what's going on. Where like
Yeah.
we see Cad Bane, we see Fennec. They were both in Book of Boba Fett. Like they're
Yeah.
there. Obviously, Omega, like Omega's name is Omega, and Boba Fett is Clone Alpha. Like they're supposed to be that close, and they've said it so many times.
Yeah.
Like the tech thing of like, there's one other clone Alpha, otherwise known as Boba Fett. Like, it's been set up so many times that it would be weird not to have the payoff of Omega meeting Boba.
Yeah.
I also think if
And-
they did do that, it wouldn't be like a "oh, you're my brother" situation, because Boba's a pain in the ass at this point. Like, he is not a
Yeah.
good dude, and like
Yeah.
obviously he's like, I work for whoever the highest bidder is. Like, of course that's how Boba Fett works, but like he works for the Empire. He's doing bad stuff. Like, he's not the peace and justice Boba Fett we see in Book of Boba Fett at this point. He
Oh
is
God,
like
no.
he is like the precursor to the Boba we see in Jedi Survivor. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I mean, he's kind
Yeah.
of like the antithesis to Omega.
Yeah.
Not just in name, Alpha and Omega. So I wouldn't be surprised to kind of have a moment there where Omega realizes like you abandon all of your brothers, and he's like, they're not my brothers or something like that. And she's like, well, they're mine, you know.
Ooh.
I feel like
that
that could
scene
be
of
Boba killed
Boba
clones
Fett-
in Clone Wars, right?
yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
He blew
Even
him up.
as little baby. Yeah. He
Dude,
did.
the idea of Boba going after Omega and then like getting into like an altercation and Boba getting his helmet knocked off and her seeing his face
Yeah.
and realizing that he's a
Oh.
clone, and like just that thought of her seeing Boba Fett and them looking across from each other and being like that mirror image of one another. And them also, there's the thing of like, they're kind of both pieces of somebody like a Sabine, where like Boba is the Mandalorian version of the clone and Omega is like the Force sensitive Jedi version of the clone.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they're all, I don't know. He told me to get a new camera and his stuff doesn't work either. But seriously, the idea of Omega and Boba meeting each other
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, yeah, that's an interesting way of thinking about it, of like Boba being the Mandalorian side and then Omega being the Jedi side,
Well,
you know?
Omega also has a very in-depth knowledge about like the cloning process and how they work. So like if she
Yeah.
saw Boba, she's like, you know, like the helmet comes off and she maybe she calls him like Alpha or something like that. Like what if she actively knows who he is?
Do you think
That
they
would
ever
be
met?
insane because she's older than all of the Bad Batch, so there's potential that she knew. What if Omega was alive at the same time that Jango gets Boba in Attack of the Clones, and
Well,
like
the-
we
Yeah.
just know that there's a young Omega running around at that point.
Well, what Sotigo is saying is right, because like according to her age, she would be alive by the time that Boba and Jango are still on Camino, right?
Right?
So like
Dude.
she should know who he
Boba-
is.
Omega's a little older than Boba, right? Or are they the same?
I think she's
No,
a
I
little
think
bit
they're the
younger.
same age.
They're the same age or
like,
very
maybe.
close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
okay,
age or
yeah,
very
yeah.
close.
It's that thing of like how you can be 15 and the other person can be 14, but you're both still in the the 8th grade. It's like that thing of like,
Yeah.
She
Look
she
out, Bob.
actively recognized in season 1 that Rex was a generation 1. Like she knew the
Yeah.
moment from looking at him. She was like, "You're
Oh,
a generation
shit.
1."
and she
She
calls
knows her
Crosshair little
stuff.
brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
So
So
she's
I-
got to
that-
know Boba.
I think she would know exactly who he is.
Dude, the flashback of Boba from the beginning of Book of Boba Fett, where he's like watching Jango leave. Think
Yeah.
about like, there's only kids around. So if she's helping Nala Se, obviously Nala Se and the other Kaminoans would have to put extra care into Boba because he was the unaltered clone for Jango. So
Yeah.
they were probably working with him a lot, running tests. And Omega being the assistant to Nala Se at that point, there's times where Omega could have been running like blood tests on Boba, and they were both kids at the same time. That's so cool. I think I would be surprised if not in this season, but at some point when they announce like the Asajj Omega cop buddy comedy that's going to come after this or whatever, that we don't see Omega and Boba interact at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knowing who Omega is, she absolutely tried to be Boba's friend when he was on Camino, like 100%. So I feel like she would know who he is, and I for one can't wait for that scene that's inevitably going to happen.
Was Omega in the cockpit when Tech was giving them all the debrief on who Omega was when he says the thing about the other clone being Alpha? I don't think she was around.
No, I think
she was
I think
part
that was
yet.
before they like recruited her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because if she was there and Tech just brought it up, her being that young at the time, I would have thought she would have been like, yeah, Boba, he's this age and he likes this kind of cereal and like that kind of stuff, where she would have brought it up at that point, I would assume.
I want to say she's like at least 1 or 2 years younger than Boba is, because Boba was kind of getting older in the Clone Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Omega's still pretty young at the beginning of Bad Batch.
It's
So
like kind of presumable that like, okay, and there's like this has been a debate between Will and myself and Connor. Like we got into it on figuring out what Boba's age was. According to the thing, they are the same age, but I think Boba is maturing a little bit more. Like, I mean, this bro has been in prison like already. Like,
is Omega is Omega the first letter in the alphabet and Alpha is the last, or is it vice versa?
Vice versa.
So Alpha
and
first.
Omega.
So then Boba was first, and then Omega was made last. And so Omega technically is probably like, even if it's a couple weeks, days, months, she should be older.
Yeah, I think she's around like 14 or 15. It like the timeline is very weird because in Dark Disciple they say that Boba is in like his mid to late teens, but apparently that's not true. Like apparently he's like
we
should be like
on that stream where it was like a bunch of people were like, this cannot be correct of how old he is during that time.
But I mean, he was getting older, like, because when we first meet him, he's like still like Attack of the Clones Boba, and then by the end of that show, like buzzed head, he's a little bit taller.
I'm willing to bet that's why they aged Omega up a little bit for this season, so that when we get the comparison, it's not too.
They're probably like around the same height, like. That's what I'm saying of like at some point they get into an altercation and maybe they tumble at one point and Boba's helmet gets knocked off and they're both on the ground and she looks up and she sees a helmetless Boba Fett on the ground. Maybe she even has to use the Force to do it.
Not without training.
Not without training. Well,
okay, can we look back at the episode list and see if there's anything that just says Boba Fett to us?
I will say I'm at this point now where the more the show goes on, the less I think Boba is showing up. But I definitely think
I agree.
Probably, yeah. Like if there was something where Omega is going to be in it after this season, like maybe bounty hunting with Ventress or training or whatever, then like absolutely that's where he would be.
That show,
What if it's Identity Crisis? Where it's like, what if it's next episode and we see Boba and the Identity Crisis thing of like the mirror image of each other, where she has to decide who she is, and she sees her brother, who she knows goes in the complete opposite direction of like, we're supposed to help people, we're clones, and Boba's like, the clones never meant anything to me, and that's like the mirror image of each other standing across, and that's the Identity Crisis. I would assume the Identity Crisis too, like for the double meaning of it all, has to do with Omega learning who she truly is and getting more answers, as well as who that mystery clone is going to be. Because there is a lot of like identity mystery that's up in the air right now. But I would, if I had to pick any of those for Boba to show up, and I'm like, based on the motifs that are being played with at this point, Identity Crisis is the one where I would assume it would have to do something with Boba meeting Omega.
What if the cold open of that episode is it's a bar and you have Cad Bane there and Boba walks up and says, I'm going to get this bounty before you, and he has a puck of Omega. And
dude, because Boba would definitely be one of the, because he's one of the best bounty hunters at this point. So
the Empire
definitely
likes him,
who they would call to see. So he's got a puck with Omega's face on it. I would have to assume from that bounty hunter database that they all have.
Like, I also think it would be kind of lame. Well, it wouldn't be lame, but like, we know Cad Bane went after Omega in season 1, and like that whole thing went down, and it's like, are they going to do that again? And I think the only way to make that interesting is to throw Boba in the mix. Just otherwise, it's just like, here's Cad, he's coming after you guys again. Like,
I would like it to be Cad though, because of the whole like, I've already got skin in the game thing, where it's a pride thing for Cad to go after Omega again, because of what happened last time with Fennec and all that. I do think it's funny though that if he goes to Boba for help, how Fennec is the one who ruined Cad Bane's chances at Omega last time, and then Fennec and Boba are the ones who end up teaming up so far down the road that's also this is what I'm saying of like there's too much swirling around in terms of connections for all of these characters in this solar system of like who can be played with in this world that like it would just be a little bit different. Speaking of what you were talking about, though, Tony, you do see Cad Bane lean up against that door that opens that kind of looks like a cantina in the trailer, just to talk about the trailer again.
Confirmed.
Of like the door slides open and he leans up against the door as that silhouette. So it could be the whole like Boba sitting at a bar thing, kind of like where we saw him again in Dark Disciple.
Man,
Wait,
that would
so
be.
you said it's a bar. Do they have this there?
I have something here for you. Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
Will twerk for Cerveza Cristal. Cole, what were you saying?
I was gonna say, you know, what'd be wild is like if they did introduce Boba in a cantina scene, if it was like shot for shot the same as Han Solo's introduction.
Ooh, that would be so sick.
That would be like a really great way to just kind of bring him back into the fold. I just think that'd be so cool.
And he just, without even questioning,
and he shoots,
who's
just
standing,
shoots
like
first.
shoots
yeah.
first. It's like, well, Boba always shoots first. Like that's cold. I love that idea.
That would
That'd
just be so cool.
Are you talking about Boba or
That'd be dope.
Cad?
Boba?
Boba. Oh yeah. With the
Wow,
Django
I
pistol
really
too.
love that.
Yeah.
It'd be great.
I will keep saying though, until we see Boba again, like I would love for him to have a version of the armor he's wearing for the 1313 armor. Like just have the chest piece and the gauntlet, and obviously he's going to have Boba's green helmet because Django's helmet blew up, and I doubt they retcon that because that was Dave's show, so he's probably not going to retcon his own show. But like, I would love like green helmet Boba Fett with the way that he looks in the 1313 concept art would be beautiful.
Yeah, he's not at Prime Boba yet, so
Yeah.
we're definitely kind of looking at
Give him the two Django pistols, please.
Here, yeah.
To
West Stars.
to compare him to like Battinson or like Batman Year One at this point, where like the armor's a little clunky and like he might have too many things on his utility belt and all of that, where he's like he has
the cape. He doesn't have the jetpack. The cape
exactly.
doesn't fly. Yeah,
it's not as refined as he gets by the time we see him in Empire.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That look for 1313 is one of my all-time favorites. Like
So
it's
sick.
so sick. That's one of those games that like they got to bring.
Minifigure a while ago, and I have the custom minifigure. I wonder if it's over here.
I want to see this. Who made this?
It might be in my case out there in the other room. But
did you build your new chair yet?
Yeah, I did. I'm sitting in it.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Is this what you guys are talking about right here? This?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yo, that is badass.
That is. I am almost certain that was the inspiration for Mando originally, at least with the rifle on his back.
Oh shit!
Look at my guy right there.
Yeah, no, that's 100%
Bro,
it. Yeah, the
100%.
Mando, the season 1 armor before he gets all that best card. That's it right there.
Yeah,
with the brown
that's
and
it.
stuff. Yeah,
Wow, that's it. I've never seen this.
You've never seen that? I'm surprised.
Nah, bro.
It's one of my.
This is amazing.
It's
that would be you've
so
seen the
cool.
1313 gameplay, right? Where like
Maybe.
it's that Boba Fett running around on in Coruscant.
Wait,
I mean-
guys! I don't want to break his heart if he doesn't know. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's better for him this way.
What?
Honestly,
Dude.
this is fan art. It's not even real, so it's fine.
That's fan art? I'm pretty sure that's real.
No,
I'm
Grayson,
trying
this is
to-
fan art.
Grayson, it's fan art.
Oh, sorry. Boba Fett's not real.
So which one is
There's
it?
no Boba Fett
1313?
in Boxing Say.
Which is the 1313 Boba Fett you guys are all drooling about?
Right
the one
there.
that you were.
This?
Well, never mind.
Yeah, we were lying. It is real. We were just saying
that
we don't want
official
to
art though on the
break
left.
your heart that it was a
Okay.
canceled game.
Oh, they're about the one with the flamethrower
I
from
know,
Eurogamer?
but
The one above that. The one above
I
that.
know it's a canceled game.
Oh, that one.
God,
That
dude.
yeah, that's him.
Because he's got
Is that-
High Singer as well.
Dude!
See,
I'm done.
I think
This is
I
dope.
subtly believe that since he has Heisinger with him in the Clone Wars, that it kind of like says, "Yeah, guys, 1313 happened." I'm just saying.
So, Tony,
I like
I'll break your big old heart here. Basically, there was
You're
a
not gonna break
game
nothing.
that was very inspired by Uncharted. There was a gameplay demo at E3. It was called Star Wars 1313. It didn't have Boba Fett in it at all. The gameplay is out there. It looks amazing. It was very Uncharted inspired, which is one of the greatest gaming franchises of all time. Play it if you haven't. But it looked beautiful, and then it was going to happen. It was just like, I think this is literally right before the Disney acquisition. And then it got canceled from the acquisition, and then it got revealed some months later or even years later that it was actually they were hiding it to be a Boba Fett game. And there is gameplay out there of it being a full-on Boba Fett game where it takes place in 1313 and you slowly are getting the armor and getting the weapons and going through to become the full-fledged Boba Fett that we know.
Yeah.
And it got canceled. And it looks
Dude, the gameplay
amazing.
is awesome too.
So
like,
good.
It looks really cool.
It's one of those games that I think like they could bring that game back if they wanted to. And there you go. There it is, man. Dude, that key art right there had Heisinger too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like in this, it's not, you don't actually play as Boba Fett. It's some kind of Nathan Drake looking guy, but
it's just a random Mandalorian, but it's I
don't even think he's a Mandalorian. He doesn't have armor or anything. He's just some
but doesn't
dude.
he has the helmet, doesn't he?
No,
There's definitely gameplay I've seen where
there is
maybe not in this trailer, but
this is the
released
gameplay. There is gameplay of where he does have the wow. He just swiped away from it. Okay.
Yeah,
There it is right there.
That's the unseen stuff. It's
but it's
unfinished, but
yeah, that's what I mean. Is like there's unfinished footage of that. This looks like Unreal Engine to me, though. I don't think this is the real.
No, this is real.
Because there's one of him like running around on a rooftop and doing.
There's
all that.
some that it's like previs, but this is
yeah,
real.
that's what I'm thinking of. Then the previs.
What the heck? Who canceled this?
What the heck?
This
Dude,
looks amazing.
Look at that.
Dude, this
is what I want. I just want to run around and just do bounties.
And then they canceled another one. They canceled another one a couple weeks ago.
Again, and they canceled. Yeah.
Oh
you're
my
right.
god.
There
This
it is
what
right
I was
here.
thinking of. Yeah. Of him running on Coruscant. Dude,
Is that me?
So yeah, that's
look at that.
Captain
Yo.
Cock right there.
Does Cole know about Captain Cock?
USDA
No.
prime grade Captain Cock.
It actually does look like the place in Survivor that you go where there's the turbo
Dude.
dogs.
So
I love
much
that
of this
level, man.
game, look, especially like even like climbing on the walls like that. So much of this gameplay reminds, like anytime I watch Survivor stuff again or it pops up on Instagram, I'm like, this is exactly what it looked like. Also,
Yeah.
this is a Batman thing. Do you guys remember the Batman animated series video game that it was like
There was a couple of them.
it was like the one
That's
with the
right
red
through the
cover,
glass.
That was dope.
maybe.
There was a couple. It's kind of similar to this.
Dude, it's so similar where it's just running around gray squares the entire time. Like it looks exactly like this.
The dev messed up right there.
Yeah.
This is this is what I want in a Star Wars game, dude. Like
Yes. It could even look like this. Not even done. Just let me play.
So Tico, I will challenge you. The game that they canceled was going to be amazing because it was Respawn and it was Dark Forces inspired. You take it back.
Yeah. So Tico.
I can
Dude,
fully
all
imagine.
all of this, obviously, it's Nathan Drake, but like it's
Yeah.
so Cal coded. Like this.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of a sucker. Look at that freaking bozo. Got him.
I can fully imagine, like during that chase sequence, Boba's just saying to himself, "I gotta get me a jetpack, man."
Yeah. He's like,
all those are the
I hate cardio. Yeah, it's
Which,
a shame,
if
man.
you think about it, like obviously that's Django's helmet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Django's helmet blew up, so it
Yeah.
makes sense. As to
I
why
think
wouldn't have that.
the canon is that Django had multiple helmets.
I would love that. Honestly,
Sure,
I would
yeah.
be fine with
Why
that. Of like,
not?
he probably had a weapons cache somewhere, and there's more than one helmet. Like, I would love
Probably
that.
on the
But
slave one somewhere.
But that's the thing too of like, if he's got Django's helmet, like why wouldn't he have Django's backpack at that point? And you assume that his jetpack is part of the chain code armor that he brings up in Book of Boba Fett, because it's like the jetpack, the chest piece, the gauntlets, and the helmet are like kind of the main four for what the Jawas take away. You know what I mean? And like the knee, obviously, like the knee caps of whatever they are, the knee pads, the yellow ones.
Do we know what happened to Django's ship after Attack of the Clones?
Doesn't the Slave One?
Is that just the Slave One?
Yeah.
Doesn't Boba just keep it and repaint it?
Yeah, because it's in Clone Wars, and then Aura Singh takes it, right? And then it ends up.
What I'm imagining is that like Django's armor is in there, and then like maybe it gets stolen from Boba or something, and then like he has to kind of get all of the pieces back.
That sounds like a really cool intro to the 1313 game of him having to get all of the pieces to Boba Fett's actual armor.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's such a clean sweep for a video game idea, dude. There was also that Darth Maul one that they were gonna do, which to be honest, I didn't really like the story of. But
and then the smuggler game during the like Age of the Empire, where we got that little cinematic
that Amy Hennig was gonna do, and Nolan North was in, and it got canceled because they hate us.
But you know what, guys? We're getting an open world Ubisoft Star Wars game, because Ubisoft has done really, really well at their games over the past decade.
Go play the last 3 Far Cry games and see if there's any difference.
Oh man,
Bad Batch, everybody.
I was gonna say also probably Celebration next year will probably get a trailer for the Star Wars Eclipse video game, depending on.
I hope so. It feels like that thing's been in development now.
I don't think so, man. That crap is never going to come out.
I would assume that the next version of like a Star Wars game that we get is going to be like an Epic-based version of like a Fortnite-esque Star Wars game.
Oh, no.
You guys saw that thing that got released today that I sent in the chat of
the
like,
Marvel
Rivals
game, where it's like a 6-man team that like just keeps getting spawned in, and you get to be like like Valorant or something like that. Well,
they already have that. Parallel just brought it up. Star Wars Hunters is a mobile game that's basically Star Wars Overwatch. It's out in other countries.
Oh, come on. We're in America, Parallel. Yeah. That does nothing for us.
Yeah.
Because it's a free game you could download.
That's 2 Ugnaughts and a Droideka. Actually, it's kind of
Disney puts billions of dollars into Epic, and it's the Marvel game. I would assume that there will be. Honestly, I can't imagine. If the Marvel game's good, awesome. I'll try it. But I can't imagine it'll be good. Also, just the character designs, like, it just looks like Fortnite if it was a little bit different. Like, they were just like, well, we can't look like the Fortnite skins. We just got to change it up a little bit.
Fortnite has single-handedly, like, changed not even just the gaming landscape, but the art landscape. For in some ways better, and for a lot of ways worse. Like everything just looks like Fortnite now,
dude. If they gave us like a Disney Plus series, that's what I would love Epic to do, is give us like with the character designs from Fortnite, and give us like a Star Wars cartoon show where it's like, dude, that Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker looks so good.
Okay, I will say the Superman skin in that game, and then the Luke and Oat are so good.
The Batman New 52 skin is great too. Really good. Honestly, the Anakin came out really good. The Maul came out really good. The Padme like all of those. I'm not really the biggest fan of the Obi-Wan, but like there are so many Fortnite skins that came out. Like even the Ahsoka Fortnite skin of like what they did with the Tales of the Force or whatever that was, where they would do like the 2D animations that they were putting out on YouTube. Remember that?
About Force and Destiny.
Sir. Maybe that's what it is. Was it?
Or no, you're talking about the kids one that they did.
There's two that I'm thinking of. There's one where it's like, it's all like the female-driven characters in Star Wars.
That's Force and Destiny.
That one
looked like a Kindle.
Yeah, and then there's the other one where it's cartoon animation, where it's like when people say, they're like, oh, I wish Star Wars had like an anime version of this, and there's like that whole like the story of Star Wars that's done in that cartoon animation style. I'll look for it. It's right here.
It's
Quinlan was here.
Yes, he is.
Hello,
It's,
hello
it's,
there.
it's Galaxy of Adventures is what you're thinking of.
I think
Yeah,
the next
that's it.
trailer we get, I think at Celebration, maybe we'll get a teaser for the next Survivor game in the trilogy.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I think maybe just an announcement
working on-
or CG trailer.
Something,
maybe.
yeah, something like that, like a small teaser, not even showing gameplay. Because at Ocala Comic Con last year, Cal said that they're working on it right now.
Cal, the real guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Galaxy of
Listen.
Adventures. Don't challenge me, buddy.
Yeah, dude, this looks
Oh,
so good.
I love how
oh,
They definitely, dude.
what is
Like,
this?
obviously, they
Dope.
added in the text on.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
it
but
and all
still,
this
it
stuff
goes.
to make it like.
gunship.
Dude,
I
it
would-
looks so good.
It looks so good, dude.
That looks fun.
Like this.
This right here.
Yeah.
This goes. Oh my gosh.
What's up, Marley?
Oh, Marley.
Yeah, dude,
Fortnite
like-
Star Wars.
Austin, what's up?
It looks so good, dude.
I listen. I love the Clone Wars style, like show, and I don't want that to go away. But
Me neither.
Troopers, bro. But I'm like, this is just Helldivers 2, but Empire. But I would love for like
So sick.
we've talked about we've beat it to death at this point, but a 2D animation for just Legends stuff even would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, guys. I think that
I'm-
pretty much wraps it up. You guys got
I gotta use the
anything
bathroom
else?
so bad.
Oh, okay.
I'm hungry.
All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for this week. Shout out to Cole and Grayson for blessing us this week. And
you.
we'll see you guys next week.
Spider-Man.
Bye.